You drop your car off at the shop, mechanic looks it over, writes it up, tells you he'll call when the part arrives. 3 days pass, nothing. A week, still nothing. You call, part is stuck in a distribution backlog, no ETA. 2 weeks later, your car is sitting in the same bay, untouched, and you're figuring out how to get to work. This is already happening, and what started last week just made it dramatically worse. Everyone is talking about how expensive car repairs have gotten. That conversation is real and important, but there's a second crisis developing right alongside the cost problem that is going to affect your daily life in a more immediate way, and almost nobody is covering it. Parts, availability, wait times. The global supply chain that puts car parts on your mechanic's shelf is under more simultaneous pressure right now than at any point in modern history. And if you don't understand what's happening and why, you will not be prepared for what's coming. What just happened? On February 28, 2026, just days ago, the United States and Israel launched joint military strikes against Iran. What followed changed the global trade picture overnight. Iran retaliated by threatening and attacking shipping in the Strait of Hormuz, the narrow waterway between Iran and the Arabian Peninsula through which roughly 20% of the entire world's oil supply passes every single day. Tanker traffic in the Strait of Hormuz dropped by nearly 70% after the escalation, leaving over 150 ships sitting at anchor going nowhere. Read that again, 70% drop in tanker traffic. Over 150 ships sitting at anchor going nowhere. Maritime insurance costs are rising by 50%, making regional shipping operations financially unsustainable for various carriers, with prominent insurers ceasing war risk coverage effective March 5, 2026. No insurance means no movement. Ships don't sail into war zones without coverage, period. The cessation of energy exports through the Persian Gulf has forced a global logistics shift to the Cape of Good Hope, adding 15 days to Asia-Europe transit times. 15 additional days on every single shipment crossing those routes. That's not a delay. That's a restructuring of global trade flow in real time. This is the world your car parts live in right now. How this connects to your repair bill. Here's where most people lose the thread. They hear war in the Middle East and think it's a gas price story. It is a gas price story. Brent crude surged 10 to 13% to around $80 to $82 per barrel within the first 48 hours, with analysts forecasting prices could hit $100 per barrel if disruptions persist. Higher fuel prices hit every single logistics cost in the supply chain. But it's much bigger than fuel prices for car owners. The factories that manufacture your car parts in Taiwan, South Korea, Japan, China, Germany all depend on stable, predictable, affordable shipping routes to get components to American distributors. China's vast manufacturing sector is seeing production costs rise as energy prices surge, squeezing profit margins in energy-intensive industries, including electronics and metals, the exact materials that go into auto parts. Taiwan produces a dominant share of the world's aftermarket car parts and virtually all of the semiconductor components that modern vehicles depend on. South Korea and Japan manufacture critical OEM components for nearly every major brand sold in America. Every one of those manufacturing hubs ships through routes now disrupted by active conflict and insurance collapse. And layered on top of this, Trump's broad tariffs were already hitting parts hard before a single missile was fired. The tariff pressure plus the war disruptions simultaneously is a combination the parts supply chain has never faced before. Which parts get hit hardest? Not everything is equally exposed. Knowing which categories face the worst shortages tells you where repairs will get delayed most severely. Electronic components and sensors are the most vulnerable by far. Modern vehicles are essentially rolling computers. Lane departure sensors, radar modules, backup cameras, automatic braking components, these rely on semiconductor supply chains centered in Taiwan and South Korea. A single damaged sensor on a late-model vehicle can hold an entire repair hostage because nothing else can be finalized until that component arrives and gets calibrated. Lead times that were already stretching are now genuinely unpredictable. Collision parts are deeply exposed. Bumper covers, fenders, headlight assemblies, door panels, the aftermarket alternatives that make collision repair affordable for average people are almost entirely manufactured overseas. A minor fender bender that damages a headlight assembly and a bumper now potentially becomes a multi-week wait. Specialty parts for European and Asian makes get hit earliest and hardest when supply chains tighten. An uncommon part for a German sedan or Japanese SUV that normally takes 5 days to source can become a 3-week wait almost without warning in this environment. What shops are already seeing? Mechanics inside Reddit communities and trade forums are already fielding questions about delayed repairs and parts that simply aren't available at normal lead times. Shop managers who used to order parts with 3 to 5 day confidence are now hedging with customers on timelines they can't guarantee. The shops that are managing best right now are the ones that saw this coming, that started ordering further in advance, carrying more inventory, building supplier relationships across multiple distributors. The shops that didn't prepare are the ones calling customers with updates nobody wants to hear. Rental car costs during extended repairs are climbing simultaneously. Many insurance policies have daily caps on rental coverage that made sense when repairs took 3 days. When repairs stretch to 3 weeks, that gap comes directly out of your pocket. What you actually do about it. Awareness without action is just anxiety. Here's exactly what you do. First, address any known damage or needed repairs right now. Not next month. Today's parts availability and today's pricing represent the most favorable conditions you're likely to see for the foreseeable future. Every week you wait is a week deeper into a supply disruption that has no clear resolution timeline. Second, before any repair begins, ask your shop directly, is this part in stock locally or does it need to be ordered? Where does it ship from? What's the realistic timeline given current conditions? A shop that gives you a straight, honest answer on that question is a shop worth trusting. A shop that waves it off isn't being straight with you. Third, build a transportation backup plan now, before you need it. Know what your insurance actually covers for rental during extended repairs. Have a contact at a rental company. Know your backup options. Improvising transportation when your car is unexpectedly stuck in a shop for 2 weeks is expensive and exhausting. Planning it in advance costs nothing. Fourth, the single most powerful protection against all of this is a car that doesn't need emergency repairs. Maintained vehicles give you control over timing. You schedule the repair on your terms. Source the part in advance. Choose your window. A vehicle that fails unexpectedly gives you zero leverage over any of it: timing, cost, or availability. 10 days ago, the global supply chain was already under pressure from tariffs, from the Russia-Ukraine war's lingering impact on manufacturing, from an aging American vehicle fleet that needs more parts than ever. Then, the Strait of Hormuz, the single most important shipping corridor on the planet, effectively shut down. Gulf energy producers are warning that if the war continues, they may be forced to halt exports entirely and declare force majeure, with one official stating directly that this will bring down economies of the world. Nobody knows how long this lasts. Nobody knows how deep the disruption goes before it stabilizes. What you can control is your preparation. The car owners who navigate this without damage are the ones acting on that preparation right now, not the ones waiting to see how bad it gets before they take it seriously. Don't wait to see how bad it gets.